Some of the most beautiful things you'll ever see were once buried. God could have made roses grow on marble, but he chose soil, dark, heavy, unglamorous soil. So we remember that beauty begins underneath broken ground. I've always been captivated by roses. Not the bouquet, the one. One rose standing alone, unprotected, unbothered, still blooming. It never needed a crowd to be beautiful. You see, my first tattoo was a rose, inked in youth, carried through storms. Although the color faded, my story never did. The outline still whispered who I was and what I survived. Even when the ink disappeared, the lesson stayed. God can make performance out of what's supposed to or what was supposed to fade. He can. And when I think about resilience, I don't see medals. I don't see crowds. I don't hear applause. I don't want that. I see that one rose still standing after everything tried to bury it. That one rose. It doesn't chase the sun. It waits for divine light. It waits for that light, y'all, because patience blooms deeper than haste ever could. A rose never performs. It grows in silence. It doesn't ask to be noticed. It simply becomes. That's how purpose works. It doesn't need permission. It just keeps on rising. Every thorn is a autobiography, a testimony of battle survived and boundaries learned. Beauty isn't delicate, it's defended. You don't grow thorns because you're bitter. You grow them because you've been broken and you refuse to stay that way. Roses aren't born in comfort. They're not. They rise through chaos, wind, rain, heat, and still they open. You see, sometimes God allows the burial, not for death, but for resurrection. And when I look at a rose, I see scripture in bloom. A sermon written without words, whispering, see, God still writes beauty into broken ground. That's what I see. He turns pressure into petals and pain into purpose. And the very dirt that tried to bury you into the platform, is going to be the same dirt that lifts you higher. You can't rush what God is refining. You can't. Every delay carries destiny. You see, what he's cultivating in private will one day bloom in public. And when it does, they won't see the dirt you came from. They'll see the glory that you carry. Hello? Growth hurts, but it's holy. It's slow on purpose. It's the trust that the same hands that planted you are the same hands that will prune you. So when you see a rose, don't just admire it. Recognize yourself in it. See evidence that God still turned graves into gardens. See that endings can become beginnings and that nothing surrendered to him ever dies in vain. Because where others see dirt, God sees destiny. If he can bring life from soil, he can bring purpose from your pain. It ain't no if, he can. I never needed a bouquet, just one rose to remind me that God still specializes in renewal, that he still breathes life into what the world calls finished. He still brings colors out in cold seasons. And even when my petals fall, his promise remains. I'm still growing, still blooming, still becoming everything he designed me to be. And you. The rose isn't just a flower, it's scripture in bloom. A reminder that every storm has a reason, every thorn has a revelation, and every blossom is proof that God is still working miracles. One petal at a time. Y'all have a good night.